Hey guys, it's Mike. Welcome back to the shop. I know it's been a while since I put a video out. I've been trying to get my shop a little bit more organized. Um, Had my water heater explosion, so I had to move everything off the side of the garage where the smithy is at. Move everything out so they could get in to replace the water heater, and I had a big mess to clean up. I've got the smithy on the leveling bases finally partially leveled out. I got to do a little bit more work to take some twist out of the bed, but it's finally on the leveling bases, and I've got my shop cleaned up again so I can get going. This video I'm going to try to get my hydraulic press finished up. I've got everything laid out. I've got all the materials I need for it now, so I'm going to try to get that finished up. And I've got another project that I'm going to be starting soon, a couple more shotgun brakes and a couple rifle brakes. So I'm going to try to get all my shop stuff done before those orders get officially placed. The customers have told me that they want them. They're just waiting to get information for their guns, and one of them's checking to see if he can get the barrel threaded where he's at, so that I can just make a threaded muzzle brake to send him. So I want to try to get all of my stuff done while I have the time in between orders to get my shop finished and get it set up the way I want it. So let me take you on a little tour. I'll show you guys what I've done so far. So my workbench area has been cleaned off. This is the ram section for the hydraulic press. I've got my pieces of 1/4 inch and 3/16 plate. I'm probably going to use a 3/16 on here, and I'll just cut out pieces that are about yay long to keep this tracking. I don't think I'll need to go to a full 1/4 inch. And what my plan is to weld 2 on one side, and then the other side is going to be drilled and tapped, so I can just bolt the pieces to it so that I can take this off easily enough. Trying to get a little more organized about a couple of these little stack-on things. I've had this one just sitting here for a while, and I finally threw it up there. I got a new extension piece, multi-plug thing, so I can use all of my items at the same time, and my lights over my bench area. You see here my bucket of chips I need to take to the scrapyard and get recycled. I've got my leveling bases on and locked down. Inside this box is the project I really want to get done, and that is my new DRO for the smithy. Hopefully I can get that done. I'm hoping to get started on it tonight, but we'll see. So here's my water heater tucked back into this little corner, and I used to have all my steel piled up where the shelf is at. So I had to move all my steel, move my mill out of the way, move that toolbox out of the way, and it was just a nightmare. So I decided, since I had that area clean, I'd put a shelf in there, and then I built myself kind of a hokey little itty bitty steel rack on the back of the Atlas lathe, so that I could store all my stock, and it's kind of turned into a pile with a bunch of other stuff in there too, but it works. It's not super crazy rigid, but it's rigid enough. So that's the plan for today, is make a decision whether or not I'm going to use the 1/4 inch or the 3/16. I think the 3/16 will be plenty for this, to keep it tracked, but I may just cut some of this up and use that. Can never be too strong, right? So let me flip the camera around and we'll get started on this. I had a visitor. You'll never guess who it was. Stan from Bar Z dropped by. He was buying a tool from me. I don't know if he's gonna do a video or not on it, but I'll let him reveal what he got out of it. But he brought me a couple of his charts with these cars driving by. I don't know how loud it's going to be for you guys, but it's ridiculous for me. I have a part that's broken or missing on my machine, and it just kind of goes down. And would it make a good YouTube video? Mind-boringly numb. Go buy one. Would it make a good video? Probably. Go make one. So, pretty good little charts. There's the fraction conversion on the back. Some anchor lube. Never have too much cutting fluid. And then this was not part of our original deal, but I was really glad and happy that he threw it in. It's a good start for my tap collection. I've been buying high-speed steel taps for most of the jobs, you know, just because I can't. I'm not a big production facility. I'm not making thousands of dollars, and really, honestly, not making any money yet. Hopefully one day, but he brought me a pretty dang good start for my taps and some dies with a little wrench here. So we've got some pipe taps, and then going down, I think this one is a 1/8 all the way down to the smallest here is 1/64 NC. So that's a little itty bitty sucker. Hopefully I never have to use that because I have a bad habit of breaking taps even this size. So, but I couldn't be happier with this. Like I said, I wasn't expecting to get it. I wasn't expecting to get anything like this. So some of these, like this 3/4 10, I mean, it's just Merlin, England is what it says on it. So I mean, these are all decent to great quality taps, and most of the taps I have are cheap Irwin or Craftsman that are garbage. So this is awesome. The anchor lube's awesome. The little charts are awesome. So thanks, Stan, for all the stuff you brought me, and I hope you enjoy your new tool. Alright, so this piece is going to ride. This is the this is how it's going to be set up, like this. And I've got these here for some real heavy duty springs to hold this up. So this is going to be the ram. The stuff I still need to do is put the guides in, and the guides need to stick out at least 1.5 inches. And you can see these two are pretty closely matched, but I just used scrap that I had sitting around. So I think this is the widest piece, and I want to do it so that the pieces completely cover this up. You know, when I was doing it, I didn't think much of it being off, and I didn't think it bothered me, but it irritates the snot out of me. So I want to do this and kind of hide my mistake here a little bit. So what I want to do is, I know I need 1.5 inches sticking out. So that thing's about 1.5 inches there. So if I do 3-inch pieces, that'll get me out where I can completely cover these, and they'll be sticking out as far as I need to for the to keep it tracked. And I just thought about it. I'm gonna have to cut these down. Widthwise. Or I guess I could. No, I'll cut them down so it's matched. So let's see how much we need to cut off the side here. 7/8 of an inch. Alright, so first step is going to be getting this zipped off with the plasma cutter. So I'm going to go get that set up and we'll get going. Alright, we're all set up to make the first cut to get the width that we need. Hopefully. you guys can actually hear what I'm saying. It did pretty good. Fairly straight all the way across. I'll clean this edge up on the grinder, but the cut's not too horribly bad. I thought I'd show you guys what kind of cut the plasma cutter does. If I can get it to focus. This is my worst one. I got a little bit of a waviness right here from where I had the clamp. As I was coming through with the torch, it wobbled out a little bit, but that's all the grows I get off of it, and it's that's it, and it's clean. Makes things really fast and really easy. So I'm going to just touch these up with the flap disc, and we'll get them over and figure out how we're going to drill the holes and what we're going to do with them. Alright, here we go. All the edges are cleaned up as much as I care to clean them up. There's a couple little spots where you can still see the kerf mark, but not too bad for just a quick whacking them off on the plasma cutter. Alright, so we've got our pieces cut out. That's the other thing. I literally just walked across the garage and I can already hold these. They're hot or warm, but I can still hold them without screaming. So you can see here, this one's a little bit long on this side. I have the stick out adjusted the same. So this is going to ride inside the channel that I had so that it keeps it aligned. I was going to use the 3/16, but I think the quarter will better suit it. And that way it'll keep it, I know it's not going to pop out. And what I'll do is I'll weld it around the back side. One side's going to be welded, the other side's going to be bolted. But I'll weld it down on the top and bottom, and then on the inside edge here I'll weld up that side to make sure it's not going to go anywhere. And the other thing I need to do is, I think what I'm going to do is use some of this. I'll probably cut it in half and weld it together and make the plate that this will sit on. I'll get some measurements so I can get it centered up as well as I can. And then I was thinking about just putting little hook clamps on to hold the hydraulic press in place. And then the other thing I was thinking about doing was making a little hand wheel for this, so that I've got a wheel sticking out like that I can spin this up or down to take up slack. And what I was kind of thinking about doing was, I don't know if this will thread completely out or not. Let's check real quick and see if it comes out. Nope, that's as far as it comes out. So it's only got 4 inches of adjustment there. I'm going to make a recess piece that this will go inside on the top. And then I was thinking about making a piece that either clamps on, actually kind of like something like this, that's locked onto here so that I can spin this up or down to take up that slack. I was going to knock this out with my MIG welder, but I have it set up for hardwire right now. It's just a little 140. I don't want to V this out and go all crazy on it. And my 140 doesn't have enough oomph unless I make multiple passes with the hardwire, and I really don't feel like doing that. So what I think I'm going to do is mark. I was thinking about drilling and then doing socket welds to hold it on, but I think just some butt welds, 70-18, weld up this side, back side, and then I'll be able to put a bead in through here. I think that'll be vastly more than it needs even, so that's what we're going to do. So I've got everything set up, and I'm sure you guys can see I'm wearing shorts because I have my adjustable knee on, and it doesn't really fit with the pants too well. So, oh well. Do what I say, not what I do, isn't that saying? Don't weld unsafely with shorts on. So I don't have to go all over that. That should be a better ground. Or not. Doing now is I'm just marking these so that I can drill them smooth. I'm just eyeballing the center. And what I did to know which side is which, put a squiggly on this one, a squiggly here, and then 3 lines and 3 lines, so that I can keep things oriented how I want them. So over to the mill now. Alright, what I'm doing here is I'm getting, this is the last hole that needs to be drilled and tapped, and I've got it lined up with my tap follower here. So I figured I'd bring you guys back for the last one here so you can see what I did. did was clamp down just this one corner. That's why it was kind of wiggling a little bit. I don't have a way to get this all the way on here without taking the indexing head off, and I really didn't want to have to realign it since I've got a couple muzzle brakes I'm going to be making here in the next few days. So now we'll take it back over to the welding bench with the screws and clean it all up and see how it works. I'm sitting here talking to myself, screwing these together, not paying any attention that I hadn't turned the camera on, so there we go. This side I might have to mount this back up and open up one of these. It didn't line up right. It's like 1/16 of an inch off. It's just enough where it won't start. So I'll get a 5/16 end mill and just open one side up just a hair so it'll fit, but it should work.